The ducks are excited.
Yeah.
Whereas they were thrusting themselves and the fate of our men back into the hellish battlefield, Kondo-san and I were hastily fleeing back to Edo. Alright, the fighting's over. All of our soldiers dropped the weapons in their hands and rushed in the direction of Edo in sheer panic. En route, I had noticed that Kondo-san's face was drained of color, and he was silent the entire trip. As we re-entered the Edo region, Kondo-san had unsurprisingly declared his intent to rest at Tama. Considering how anxiously I felt about how the rest of the warriors were doing, I returned to our headquarters, somberly waiting until they'd arrived. As time went by, warriors would make their slow return one by one, and I peeked my head nervously. While I had wanted to stand outside of the main entrance in anticipation for Nagakura's return, there was no real opportunity for me to do so. I Are you watching something?
Yeah, yes, I was watching something. I'm sorry. I got like, oh shit, it's good.
I was tasked with preparing everyone's meals, tending to the injured, and washing articles of clothing. There were errands. There were ducks.
There were ducks.
There were errands that I needed to prioritize. By the time I could finally catch my breath, it was midnight, enveloping the outside in total darkness. I stepped quietly into the great hall to take a break when there stood Nagakura. But I had lost track of time so much so that I had no idea when he arrived. Nagakura! You're safe! I'm so glad. I was worried sick about you.
Ah, 悪かったな。あんまり忙しそうだったから、
Yeah.
つい声をかけそびれしまった。
Nah, he's considerate.
Oh.
So, how'd the battle turn out?
戦は大まかさ。城を取るところが、金も武器も、大使も、全部なくなっちまった。
Nagakura took deep breath as he admitted their defeat, his vexed eyes sinking to the floor. His shoulders began to tremble after he looked down. Out of concern, I softly reached my hand towards Nagakura's shoulders. I couldn't help myself from gawking at him. Oh! For once, his broad frame looked so fragile and small as he shook from disappointment. Hug the boy! Hug! Hug! I searched within myself to think of something I could do for Nagakura. So I typed... What? Why? Why?
I'm like, oh shit, I have this.
Absolutely not the appropriate time for that sound effect.
Neither this one.
Nope. Anyway, okay, cool it for a little bit, please.
Okay.
I searched within myself to think of something I could do for Nagakura, so I tightly wrapped my arms around him.
俺たちは仲間だったはずなのにな。今日に登って新選組を立ち上げて、苦労を共にして、それが今じゃ大名気取りか？あの人にはそういうところもあって、まあそれも持ち味だと思ってた。それでも俺たちとは対等にやってくれてたはずだった。
There was no need to guess whom Nagakura had been referring to, but it hurt nonetheless to hear it.
それなのに俺のことを羅刹扱いをしやがった。俺はもう仲間じゃねえのか。くそ。
Nagakura suppressed tears, his shoulders shaking violently as he worked to bury his emotions. That's not it at all. Please, don't think of it like that. I kept my embrace around Nagakura firm as he expressed his uneasy stream of emotions to me. I thought it best to tell him. I understand where you're coming from. It's fine. I understand. Nagakura perked up, his eyes gleaming as they gazed deeply into mine.
本当に分かってくれるのか?
I returned his prodding glance, nodding intently in response. No matter what, you're still you, Nagakura. Human or fury, nothing can change that. Nagakura beamed proudly, his eyes widening as he let out a hearty chuckle.
俺は俺か. なんだか嬉しいよ。自分のことを分かってくれる人がいるっていうのはこんなに嬉しいことなんだな。
After a brief moment, Nagakura straightened his back, rising up with a more positive attitude.
俺、もう一度近藤さんと話してみるよ。それでもダメだったら、その時は自分の考えを貫こうと思うんだ。ありがとうよ、千鶴ちゃん。
No worries. Had I been able to reach Nagakura meaningfully? Nothing else could possibly thrill me more. Although, my mind lingered on the last bit of his sentence, and I wondered to myself what he could have meant by doing what he felt was right. After a few days had passed, Kondo-san, who had recused himself within Tama, had returned to the headquarters alongside Hijikata-san.
みんな、甲府では大変な目にあったな。怪我はないか？
近藤さん、これからの方針について話があるんだが、いいか？
今でなくてはならないのか？
今じゃねえといけねえんだ。
わかった。話を聞こう。
Kondo-san's lips curled quietly in discomfort, perhaps feeling goaded by the brevity of Nagakura's request. The two of them stood up curtly and stepped into a curtained room nearby, later joined by Hijikata-san and Harada to partake in their discussion. I waited idly, and at some point, San-san and Heisuke were summoned as well, leading me to believe that the topic of Furies had become a relevant focal point. To tell the truth, I had no grasp of what exactly Nagakura intended to address, so I was left to fend against my own anxious thoughts, gulping in the corner. I had been suddenly startled by their raised voices.
もう一緒にはやってられねえ。悪いが、出て行かせてもらうぜ。俺は俺のやり方で薩長の奴らと戦う。
待ちたまえ、長倉君。君は羅刹だろ？羅刹は影の存在だし、死人と同じだ。勝手に体から出すわけにはいかん。
俺は死んだわけじゃねえぞ。止めるって言うなら、力ずくで止めてみろ。
I gasped, then watched the veins bulging in Nagakura's forehead as he stormed out of the room. Ouch.
原田、お前はどうするんだ？
俺は新八についていくって決めてたからな。出ていくって言うならそうなる。
そうか。わかった。
Nagakura was leaving? Would it be okay for Nagakura, whose existence was as a fairy was protected with the Shinsengumi, to leave? Duck is curious. If he were to be struck with a vicious episode of bloodlust, could he potentially endure its pain alone? My mind raced with all of the frightened possibilities, and suddenly I came to a personal resolution. In spite of the butterflies fluttering madly in my stomach, I mustered up my courage and spoke to a visibly disturbed Hijikata-san. Hijikata-san, Nagakura becoming a fury was entirely my fault. In order to protect me, Nagakura was forced into drinking the water of life. So if Nagakura's nature as a fury is part of the problem, then I just can't let him leave without me. I will see to it that Nagakura is cared for, so please, allow Nagakura to do what he feels is best. Please, please allow me to leave the Shinsengumi with Nagakura. I bowed deeply, hoping to appease Hijikata-san. Duck also bows. We have a duck on this adventure now.
Yes.
Although I had expected to be scolded with Hijikata... I'm sorry. The thought of a duck being our partner.
Yeah.
Our
I just said, like,
companion.
the fuck? We just got it up by nowhere.
Mm. Duck companion! It's just a normal duck that's following us around.
Yes. Just one.
Mm-hmm.
And by nowhere, his friends come around.
Oh no. Although I had expected to be scolded with Hijikata-san's loud booming voice, no such moment came. I fearfully raised my eyes, taking a glimpse at him.
鬼の奴らがお前を狙ってくるならちょうどいい目くらましになるな。
そうですね。それに万が一見つかったとしても、長倉くんなら鬼から守れるでしょう。
Nagakura would come to my rescue? So all of this must mean... You approve?
もともとお前は大使でもなんでもねえ。だから離隊したいとかそんなことを言わなくてもいいんだよ。
新八さんのこと頼んだぜ。
No, we have to leave Heisuke behind. The good boy.
Don't worry, a duck can stay with him.
Oh my god.
Just one. Just the one they're going to follow us.
Okay. I had nearly no opportunity to thank the Shinsengumi man before scurrying away to find Nagakura. My first instinct was to head for his bedroom. Just as I had expected, Nagakura was standing above his bed, stuffing things into his pack without any sense of order, presumably out of irritation. Nagakura, you're leaving the Shinsengumi, right? Well, so am I.
ああ、こうなるとは思ってなかったが、売り言葉に買い言葉ってやつだな。
Nagakura was being short with me, giving me the impression that his mood hadn't quite simmered after his and Kondo-san's scintillating? Scintillate? The fuck is this word?
Wait. Scintilla. Wait, what?
Scintillating conversation?
I think the second one.
Scintillating?
Yeah, I think it's that one. Scintilla.
Fuck English.
I cannot pronounce that, but it's that.
だが、一つだけはっきりしたことはある。後悔だけはしたくねえって。誰かのため、何かのため、武士には戦うための理由や信念がある。 けどよ、俺にとってのそれがここじゃないとはっきり分かったんだ。あの人のもとじゃ命を預けることができねえってな。だから出ていくことに決めた。俺が自分の信念に嘘をつかないため、後悔しないためにもな。千鶴ちゃん、最後まで守ってやれなくてすまねえ。
Nagakura bowed respectfully, but before he could continue, I rushed to chime in. Please keep your head up. Nagakura stared back at me with a dubious expression, and finally I had room to speak my piece. Well, you see, I've decided to leave as well.
なんで？
Boy did not hear me the first time.
Yeah.
Because I'm worried about you, Nagakura.
俺は心配なんかされなくたって大丈夫だって。
Well, more to the point, the fact is, I'm the reason that you're a fury.
あ、それはお前さんが責任を感じることじゃないって。
But the fuck?
Sorry, yeah.
The fuck?
Instagram. Yeah, the up in Instagram.
Anyway, but you and Inoue gave your lives for mine, and this time I want to help you. Nagakura's eyes dropped nervously to the floor, and for a moment, a silence fell between us. Then he adopted a prudent tone of voice. A prudent tone of voice, I don't know.
実はお前さんのことを守ると言いながら、俺はここから出て行こうとしていた。それがずっと気がかりだったんだ。ここにいれば土方さんや平助が守ってくれるんじゃないかって、他人を当てにするところだった。そんなんじゃダメだよな。
He stared back at me with doe eyes sympathetically.
改めて言わせてくれ。俺が君を守る。だから俺と一緒に来てくれないか。
Yes, I will follow you wherever you go.
ああ、どこまでも俺に守らせてくれ。
A bright sunny smile was plastered across his face for the first time since I could remember. No sooner than when Nagakura left the room had Harada entered in his place.
お前がついてくるとはな。
Do you think I just get in the way? I had initially expected him to nod in agreement, but surprisingly, Harada smiled warmly instead.
いや、今のあいつにはそのくらいがちょうどいいかもしれねえ。新八と近藤さんはいろいろ似てるんだよな。だからぶつかることもある。近藤さんに土方さんがいるように、新八のそばにいてやってくれ。
It was the very next evening. With our duck. Our preparations to leave were completed, and all of us were standing outside of the entrance gate.
長倉さん、本当に行ってしまうんすか？俺、もっと長倉さんからいろんなことを教わりたかったですよ。
短い間だったけど、お前にはいろんなことを教えたつもりだぜ。あとは頼んだぞ。
俺に長倉さんの代わりなんてできるわけないじゃないですか。
何も俺と同じことをしろって言ってるわけじゃねえんだぜ。お前にしかできないことがある。それを一生懸命に死に物狂いで務めろ。
はい。俺、頑張ります。
近藤さんのことを頼んだぞ。
わかりました。
Soma and Nomura stepped back timidly, and in their stead, Saito-san appeared to bid us farewell.
世話になったな、斉藤。すまねえが、後のことは頼んだぜ。
こちらのことは気にするな。それより彼女のことを頼む。
分かってる。必ず俺が守ってみせるさ。
やっぱり平助は来ねえか。まあ根性の別れってわけじゃねえし。
There was a hint of melancholy twinkling in Harada's eyes as he stared back towards the gate, speaking in a winsome manner. Saito-san, thank you for everything over these past 4 years.
新八のことよろしく頼む。
Will do. As we waved our old friends goodbye, I felt a faint breeze brush coldly against my cheek, reminding me that we were with a duck. Reminding me that we were casting ourselves into the bleak unknown.
God damn it.
Oh shit, chapter 3.
Oh.
We're at 2 hours and 30 minutes in. Almost. I'm gonna drink. After leaving the Shinsengumi, Nagakura led us to a residence belonging to one of his old friends. Despite Nagakura and Harada's departure from the Shinsengumi, they retained a fiery resolve to topple the Imperial Army and take the fight back to them. As such, Nagakura's reunion with his old friend gave them the impetus to create a new organization, one fiercely determined to defeat the Imperials. I got a question.
Yeah.
Where's Blue?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Let me check.
It's weird that he's not here.
Yeah, the kinda. I was thinking he's going to join, but
Yeah.
no.
Henceforth,
But instead of him, we have ducks.
yeah, we have ducks. Henceforth, they became known as the Seikyo Corps. Seikyo Corps, a squad of nearly 100 men, comprised of Ronin, retainers, and shogunate infantrymen, that was led by Gido Haga. Nagakura and Harada are his assistant commanders. The chief of the Seikyo Corps was Nagakura's friend, whom I had later learned was named Haga. Yoshimichi Haga, a Ronin from the Matsumai domain. He's a childhood friend of Nagakura's and had also studied within the same dojo. Nagakura and Harada, given their experience and relationships to Haga, were named vice commanders, entrusted with upholding the corps' rigorous standards. As for myself, I was protected under their custody when Nagakura stated that I was a relative of his. Okay. We're a relative. He claimed that the Seikyo Corps would have need of my services since I had a medical background. The Seikyo Corps quickly found its feet and, with the support of the shogunate, recruited 100 men after capitalizing on the momentum of their efforts. Wow.
今回の正教隊は上下の関係じゃなくて幕府のために戦おうってやつが集まってるんだ。そんなやつが100人も集まってることの方が俺は嬉しいね。
Initially, I was getting caught up in Nagakura's excitement, but all of a sudden, he began to demur me in a hushed tone.
ところで、しずるちゃんはすまねえが男装のままでいいかな。俺の弟分ってことにしてあるんだ。 さすがに女としては連れてこれなくてさ。
Of course, it's fine. Please, do not worry. I hadn't expected to be admitted into their ranks as a woman from the start, but... Duck.
Duck.
This time around, I had not been given a position, like when I became Hijikata's page, but rather I'd be relegated to something like a brother. But the more I thought about it, even to Nagakura, I was something akin to a sister to him, so I suppose I could take some solace in the minor upgrade. Can you just admit it already? The ducks want to know. The ducks want to know when it'll happen.
Yeah.
There was nothing to be done about it, I guess. Such concerns seemed like petty background noise amidst the thrill of the Seikyo corps coming together so quickly, and Nagakura was radiant with glee. As their members gradually became settled in their roles, weeks of firearms training were assigned, turning the training grounds into a sonic bombast. Training was led by Chief Haga and Nagakura, who proudly flexed their knowledge of practical firearms usage from years of experience in the Nagakura knows how to use a gun.
The fuck?
Eh?
What's he got it?
This is news to me. He's always used swords. He's a samurai, goddammit. Nagakura seems so integral to the Seikyo Corps. As an outsider, I watched him finally find his groove.
Ma, 俺だって近藤さんがいなくてもこのくらいのことはできるんだよ。
It appears as though you have finally found your old happy self, Nagakura.
はあ、出てくるまでは愚痴だらけだったから余計にな。だが、やってることは新選組の時とあんま変わってない。
Oh, I saw that.
Eh?
Disgusting.
Oh, you found something again, didn't you, damn
Yes.
it? What the fuck? That's your own damn fault.
God damn it.
いやいや、この盛況隊に
I
は
know.
俺の溢れ出る知性が求められてるんだよ。
知性じゃなくて筋肉の間違いだろ。
まあ、一通り準備ができたら、俺たちも合図を目指すことにしようぜ。
Nagakura's statement reminded me of how pertinent leaving for Aizu was, given the political climate. Edo Castle was entrenched with Imperial supporters, swiftly loosening their influence there. Loosening our influence there. The longer we remained in Edo, the more visceral the threat of Imperial occupation in Edo became, and we could afford to wage our war here. Blech. The only forces left hoping to thwart the growing empire of Japan were the Aizu, the Jonai domain in the Tohoku region, and the Nagaoka in the Echigo province. Jonai domain, a domain identified as an enemy of the Imperial Army for attempting to set the Satsuma residence ablaze in Edo under shogunate orders. Nagaoka domain, a domain whose attempts to remain neutral were thwarted by imperial provocations. Afterwards, they became a member of the Northern Alliance. Fearing their options were wearing thin, Nagakura and the rest of the Seikyo Corps chose to fight as allies with the Aizu, who were largely influential in Kyoto.